Hi guys, in this video we'll be talking about 4-digit numbers again. So let's get started. I'm going to solve one of these to show you an example of how we do these, and then I want you to try and solve the rest and the 3 problems on your own. So let's do this. We have 2,000s, 500s, 2 tens, and 17 ones. Now immediately you should notice something odd here. It says 17 ones. That's a 2-digit number. So what do we do here? How do we do this? We've never had a 2-digit number like this before. So what needs to happen basically is that since it says 17, the 7, the digit to the far right, needs to go in the ones place because it says ones. So the 7 needs to go in the place of the ones. And this 1 that's in front here needs to be carried over 1 digit to the left, so to the tens. I'm going to put in 1 more tens than whatever it's saying. So here it says 2 tens plus 1 that I carried over. That makes 3 tens. Then we have 500s. Okay, that's normal. And 2000s. So well, the number that I got here is 2,537. That's supposed to be a 3. Let's make that a little better because it really does not look like a 3. Okay, let's try that again. So what I did here was, again, I carried over the 1 that's here. I carried it over 1 digit to the left. And I said, well, since I was supposed to put in 2 here, I'm going to put in 1 more. I think that the rest you can do on your own, so I'm going to leave that to you. Pause the video and come back when you're done. Okay, if you're back, that means you solved them. Let's see if you did them correctly. Let's start off from the ones. This is 0 ones. Okay, I'm going to put in just a 0 here. 4 tens. Okay, 4 tens. Sure, we can do 4 tens. And then it says 56 hundreds, which means again the digit to the far right of this number needs to be put in the place of the hundreds. So 6 here. And then the 5 needs to be carried over 1 digit to the left, so to the thousands. It says 2,000s plus this 5 that I carried over makes 7. Next up, we have 9 ones. Okay, good. We can do 9 ones. Where's the tens? 96 tens. So I'm going to put the 6 in the place of the tens. And then what do we have? We have 0 hundreds plus 9 that I carry over makes 9. And then 2000s. So I get the number 2,969. Next up, where's the ones? 7 ones. Okay. 58 tens. So I write 8. And I carry over 5. And we have 800s plus 5 that I carried over. Now here's the odd thing. 5 that I carry over and 8 makes 13. Am I going to put 13 here? No. I'm going to put in just the 3. And then carry over the 1 to the thousands. So I'm going to have 5 and 1 makes 6. And I get the number 6,387. Next up, we have 77 ones, so I'm going to write 7. And carry that second 7 over to the tens. We have 8 tens plus 7 that I carried over makes 15. I write the 5 and I carry 1. It's like we're doing vertical addition in our heads almost. So I've carried over 1. And now it says we have 900s. So 9 and 1 that I carried over makes 10. So I'm going to write 0 and carry 1 to the thousands. 2000s and 1 that I carried over makes 3. My result is 3,057. Next up, we have 3,000s, 23 tens, 0 ones, and 800s. Okay, 0 ones. We can start with that. 23 tens, so I'm going to write 3 and carry 2. 3 carry 2. 800s plus 2 that I carried over makes 10, so I'm going to write 0 and carry 1. So 3 and 1 that I carry over makes 4. And if you want to write, like here when we just carried something over, or here where we carried something over, if you want to write what you're carrying over, you can do that. It's perfectly fine. Or here I didn't carry 1, I carried 2 actually. So I should have put 2 above that, but okay. If you want to write the whatever you're carrying over the digit that you're carrying it, that's fine. So here we get 4030. Next up, we have 1000. Here, the S, 1000, 9 tens, 10 ones, and 9 hundreds. Okay, let's start with the ones. So 10 means I need to put a 0 here. Carry 1 over tens. 1 and 9 makes 10. So again, I'll write 0, carry 1. Carry 1 over here to the hundreds. 9 hundreds and 1 makes 10 again. So I'm going to write 0 and carry 1 to the thousands. So 1 and 1 that I carried over makes 2. So my result is 2000. Perfect. I wanted us to try and visualize this, so I brought in some visual aids. You can see here I brought the 1000 box, the 100 square, the tens line, and the little dot that symbolized the 1. So I'm going to do an example of how something like this would work. I'm going to visualize this problem right here that says that we need to make 3000s, 23 tens, 0 ones, and 800s. Okay, so let's try and make this with basically these building blocks, okay, that we have right here. Now, first off, it says 0 ones, so I can just erase this 1 right here. I can just erase it. I don't need it at all. Next up, it says 23 tens, so we need to make 23 of these. Let's make 23 of these. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and then for the sake of time, I'm going to take all of these 5, copy, drag them down. That'll be 5 and 5 makes 10, and then another 5. Whoa. And then another 5. Wait a minute. Sorry. My bad. Another 5 makes 15, and another 5 will make 20, and now I only need another 3. These are 20 tens, and I need another 3 to make 23 tens. So I'm just going to copy these 3, carry them down. Okay, so that's 23 tens there, right there, right? Okay, well, my tens need to be less than 10. I can't have more than 10 of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bunch these 10 together. I'm going to bring them really close together, like so. Really close to these. And do the same with these. And then this, and then the same. I'm going to do the same with the rest of them. I'm going to bring them all really close together. Then I'm going to take these 5 tens and I'm going to put them up here with these. And oh, would you look at that? What did I get? I got 100 square. I got the exact same thing as this. So I got basically, if I combine all of these into one, I now have, instead of 10 tens, I have 100. I no longer need to call these 10 tens. I have 100. And you know what I'm going to do with this 100? I am going to carry it over to the hundreds and add it to the hundreds that I'm going to have later. Okay? Now let's do the same with these again. Let's do the same with these 10 tens. Wait. Let's move these a little closer. Yeah, like that. And then these. It's a little too close. And then these. And then these. I'm going to take this, like I did before, these 5 tens. I'm going to move them up. And again, look, what do I have? I have 100. I have 100 square. And again, I'm going to carry it over from the tens. I'm going to carry it over to the hundreds and add it later to the hundreds. So what am I left with? I am only left with 3 tens, like we put here, right? And these also, I'm going to combine them into one, so I don't have to carry them around individually. So there we go. Now we have 2 extra tens to how many ever we need to have. So normally this says that we should have had 8 hundreds. So let's make 8 of these. We have 1, so that'll be 2, 3. I'm going to need to move these a little bit. I'm going to move them where? I'm going to move them down here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to move the tens a little bit to the right so that we can have some more room. So I had 3 tens, and then I'm going to make more. Now I have 4. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to copy these 4. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. And these 2 that I carried over from before. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the tens. I'm going to combine 10 of these hundreds to create 1,000 that I'm going to carry over to the thousands that I'm going to have later. So let's do that. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it right over this. See, I could erase it. And oh, this one's right, it's still here. But I'm going to choose to put them together, in front, the one in front of the other. And then I'm going to do the same with the rest. I'm going to put this in front of this, and this in front of, oh wait, that's not in front, it needs to be in front. Where will you go though? Okay, there we go. Actually need to get a little closer to see these. I'm going to put this in front of the others. And then the same with this. And if you look now, what do I have? I have an extra 1,000. I have an extra 1,000 that I can carry over to however many thousands I'll have later. So now I have 0 hundreds, just like we found in the problem, 0 hundreds. But I do have one extra 1,000 that I'm going to need to add later. Let's combine all of these. Lastly, it says we need to have 3,000s. So these are the original 3,000s that we are going to need to have. 1, 2, and then we're going to have another one makes 3. And the one that I carried over, oh wait, I forgot to put these in. Forgot to put these into the 10. I'm going to put these in front. And now my 1,000 is complete. Now I have exactly 1,000. So 3,000's here, and then one extra 1,000 right here makes 4,000s, just like we found. Now this doesn't look exactly the same as the other ones because I had to make it really quickly. But if we had the time, we could make them look exactly the same if we wanted to. So that's what we have here. We have 4,000s, 0 hundreds, 3 tens, and 0 ones, just like the number that we found. And that's how we visualize all this. Now, let's erase these to make some room for our problems. Okay, so here are our problems. Problem 1 says, there are 5,000 people living in a city. 1,568 of them go on vacation. How many people are left in the city? So I have to figure out here, am I going to be doing addition or subtraction? And the answer to that is that since the people going on vacation, that means that they left the city. Now, which does that remind you of? Does that remind you of addition or subtraction? I would say that reminds me a lot more of subtraction. Since they're leaving, that means I have to do 5,000 take away 1,500. Yeah, I got that number right. Yeah. 600 and 1,568. Say 0 take away 8, can't do it. So I borrow 1, turn this 0 into a 10, take away 8 makes 2. I return this down to the 6, it becomes 7. 0 take away 7, can't do that either. So I borrow again, 10 take away 7 makes 3. Return this here, becomes 6. 0 take away 6. I can't do 0 take away 6, so I do 10 take away 6, which makes 4. I turn this down here, it becomes a 2, and I say 5 take away 2 makes 3. So my answer is 3,432. Next up, Maria makes 1,200 euros per month. She spends 450 euros on groceries and 200 to pay her bills. How much money does she have left over? Okay, so again, addition or subtraction. And how many? Because right now it gives us 3 numbers. Do we use all 3? Do we use just 2? Which 2? So we need to figure all of that out. Try to imagine this. What does the problem tell us? It tells us that Maria makes 1,200 euros per month. That means that every month she goes to her job and they give her 1,200 euros. Okay, that's money she is getting. So that's a plus for her, right? But then she has to give away 450 for groceries and another 200 to pay the bills. That's money that she's giving away. Since she's giving it away, that's a minus for her. That's money that she needs to subtract from the amount that she had. She's not getting that money. No one's giving her 200 or 450. That's money that she's giving away. So I need to subtract these two numbers, 450 and 200. I need to subtract these numbers from 1,200. Now I could find out how much this is together. So I could find out how much her expenditure is overall. So 450 plus 200. I could do that and then subtract that from 1,200. Or I could say 1,200, take away 450, and then whatever I find, take away 200. Those are both very good options. You can go with it whichever you like. I'm going to do 1,200 take away 200 because that's easiest to do first. If you look carefully enough, you'll see that there's no regrouping here. So I just do 0, take away 0, makes 0. 0 take away 0 makes 0. 2 take away 2 makes 0. And 1 take away 0 because there's nothing here makes 1. So we get 1,000. See, I just did that subtraction with no regrouping. Try and look for these things. Try to make your life easier by seeing what is easiest to do. So next, I need to subtract from the 1,000 euros that's left over. I need to subtract 450. Now again, 0 take away 0 here will give me 0. Then, unfortunately, 0 take away 5 is a subtraction I can't do, so I need to borrow and make this 10 take away 5, which will give me 5. I return this that I borrowed to the 4, and it becomes 5, and I say 0 take away 5. Again, I can't do it, so again I borrow and I do 10 take away 5, which makes 5. It doesn't look like 5. And then I return this here where there's nothing, so I say 1 take away 1 makes 0. So she has, I didn't really need to write this 0, like I could have avoided it completely. There's no reason for it to be in front of a number. So she makes 500, she has €550 left over every month. Now it asks us how much money does she have left over after 3 months. So that means that 1 month is going to be 550, and then the second month is another 550, and then the third month is another 550. So I need to do 550 plus 550 plus 550. Normally, I would do 550 times 3 because it's just 3 550s, but we can also do it as addition. Whichever one we like is perfectly acceptable. We'll do both. So if I do 550 plus 550, I get 0 plus 0 makes 0. 5 and 5 makes 0. 1 that I carry over. 5 and 5 makes 10, and 1 that I carry over makes 11. So I'm going to do this plus 550. So 1,100 plus 550. So that's 0. 0 plus 5 makes 5. 1 plus 5 makes 6. 1 plus nothing makes 1. So my answer should be 1,650. And I can put the dots in here. I should. 1,650. What if we did the multiplication? What if we did 550 times 3? Well, you'll see that I'm going to get the same result. 3 times 0 makes 0. 3 times 5 makes 15, so I write 5, carry 1. 3 times 5 makes 15 again, and 1 that I carried over makes 16. So I got the same result, 1,650 euros. So that's all for today. See you again tomorrow.